The internet completely lied to me about this movie. I went into the Deep House expecting an absolute train wreck. Every review I saw online basically called it a cheap gimmick that would run out of air in 20 minutes. But I watched it anyways, and I completely disagree with everyone hating on this movie. This movie didn't suck. It actually has some of the best tension building and creepiest set designs I've seen in a long time. And it's not a gimmick, it's a completely unique concept, as stupid as it may sound. So how did a film everyone seems to hate end up being one of the most effective claustrophobic horror movies I've seen in a while? Well, let's talk about the Deep House, and don't worry, I'm keeping this completely spoiler-free because the ending does something most modern horror movies are way too scared to pull off, and I want you to experience this movie for yourself. The Deep House follows Ben and Tina, a young couple who explore abandoned buildings for their YouTube channel, hoping to get enough views to make money, and honestly, incredibly relatable. Who wouldn't want to quit their shitty 9-to-5 job as a desk jockey, corporate punching bag, and get paid for looking at old dusty ruins? Asbestos. The opening of the movie shows them exploring an abandoned sanitarium in Ukraine, where a nurse allegedly poisoned a bunch of patients. This part instantly reminded me of the time I visited the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. The bad vibes are identical. And no, this movie does not have the creeper in it. That'd be pretty cool though. But their final destination is a remote southwest town in France. They cross paths with a sketchy guy named Pierre, who tells them about a secret spot in a local lake. Apparently there was a massive flood decades ago, and there is a perfectly preserved mansion sitting directly at the bottom of the lake. Yeah, I know this is the part that sounds stupid, but this is a supernatural horror film. It works. Trust me. So, what do our urban explorer protagonists do? They put on scuba gear and dive right in. Once they hit the water, the filmmaking does something really cool. It switches to a hybrid camera style. You get the realism of their GoPros and a tracking drone, but the footage is actually stable and high quality. Thank God, because I was fully prepared for a shaky cam headache. But it actually looks incredible. It's more of a found footage hybrid than straight found footage, which I'm all in for. They swim down, and Ben immediately decides to blast death metal underwater to scare the fish. And I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. It was pretty funny. But the fish down there are pretty cool though. And I'm wondering if they were actually scared or they were just jamming out. But things get weird when they actually find the house, because suddenly there are no fish, like at all. Total dead silence. Well, I guess there's like 1 or 2 fish maybe. They find a way inside, and the set design from this moment on is dialed up to a 10. It is so unbelievably creepy. Everything is fully furnished and perfectly preserved underwater. They swim past floating, waterlogged, creepy dolls, and a massive family portrait where the entire family is casually holding shotguns. There are even missing children posters still stuck to the walls, if that wasn't creepy enough. There are also scratch marks all over the inside of the front door, meaning whatever was in this house was desperately trying to claw its way out before the flood. Or maybe after. The sound design and the suffocating visuals build an incredible, heavy amount of tension. I love when movies can do this effectively. I want to feel like I'm on the edge of my seat, not knowing what will happen, and I want to feel creeped out. And The Deep House absolutely nails it. Now, the movie builds up this perfect atmosphere until about 50 minutes in, when it decides to show a ghost full on with a cheap jump cut and a loud scream. For me, that completely killed the vibe. It just wasn't scary compared to the dread of the empty house. And I hate when movies do this. It's such a cliche, and movies rarely make ghosts scarier than your imagination. I really could have done without it. But here's where The Deep House surprised me. Most horror movies lose their tension and never find it again. This movie actually manages to build it right back up. Once the supernatural element mixes with the fact that their oxygen tanks are rapidly running out of air, the final 20 minutes turns into an absolute claustrophobic nightmare. Well, I personally didn't find the climax scary, but it was a great way to explain what was going on. I'm giving The Deep House a 4 out of 5. I really don't understand the hate on this one. The atmosphere is top tier, and it made me never want to go scuba diving in a weird remote French lake. Okay, it's not perfect. The script and the character development are definitely pretty thin, which may be a problem for some people. But in a movie mainly about the atmosphere, tension, and set design, you don't really need a 30-minute backstory. Also, it has a few visual moments where the bubbles and everything make it hard to see what's happening, but overall, it's an incredibly original, creepy, tense, and unique experience. It completely exceeded my expectations. Also, that final sequence, ballsy as hell. It might piss people off, but I loved it. Have you guys actually checked this one out, or did the bad reviews scare you away? Let me know in the comments below, but just go watch it, form your own opinion, because I really like this one. Sue me. But before you do that, make sure to like and subscribe for more hidden horror gems. A new episode is coming on Wednesday. I'll see you in the next nightmare.